What's going on, everyone? I'm your host, Chris. This is the Otterline Report. We're going to go over some picks and news and results from the Otterline. If you are a premium member, thank you so much for that. Helps me keep the Otterline active. And if you are a free user, I appreciate you for taking the time to view the site. And hopefully, over the next couple of months, you take the dive into it to check out the premium. I do think it is well worthwhile. MLB is coming up in the spring. Super excited for that. It's actually just at the end of this month. I think it starts around the 24th. The first week it will be a little messy while we kind of configure everything and get things working. The one thing I got to really solve is starting pitchers. So I got to get some good APIs for that, maybe a website to scrape or something, some kind of resolution there. Otherwise, we'll have to use some like averages to make our picks on MLB, but that's coming up in the spring, so that should be really great. Currently, we're locked into the NHL and NBA second half of the season. Things get a little bit weird going forward. Teams you think should definitely win games tend to maybe they slip a little bit. The motivation's not there. Maybe teams are starting to think about resting some rosters and players. Like, it just starts getting a little bit weirder the closer you get to April. But plenty of teams are still fighting for their playoff spots. So those are still going to be some competitive games. So it's not all lost. Things are looking good, though. Honestly, things are looking good. So last night, NHL went 5-2. Love to see that. Not as good in the NBA. NBA, we went 4-6. But NBA has been decent enough lately. Now, if you are a premium subscriber, you've noticed that NBA hasn't had a lot of featured picks. Things just haven't lined up. I think the second half of the NBA is a little more dicey than the NHL. NHL is still pretty competitive. NBA could be a little more hit and miss with the odds. So if you go ahead and look at NBA today for picks, we basically just have one pick and then mine across the board. But if you really love betting the NBA, you can always go ahead to the NBA consensus table and just bet based on the signal. You can, if there's a game you'd like there, that's great. The featured picks have a little bit more of an algorithm, and if things don't line up, it doesn't force the pick, right? So if there's nothing there, there's nothing there. Don't force it. But today we do have the New York Knicks as a featured pick. Actually, in all of them, they all like that pick. So that's probably the only one that I'll be taking today in the NBA. And then if we switch over to the NHL, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games on the board. And we can go ahead to the picks page to see exactly what we're looking at for today. So today, the clearest edge is, who do we got? We got Washington over Calgary. We've got Utah Mammoth over Chicago, Ottawa over Vancouver, and Columbus over LA. And then we've got Philly over the Rangers. So those are kind of the main picks for the day. My personal is Washington, Utah, and Ottawa. And that's kind of the main thing for the day. I've changed things a little bit. This site is completely rebuilt. Been heads down building that. Now I can focus kind of on the content side of things again. I did some internal data analysis and I discovered a new featured pick. So behind the scenes, I'm always testing stuff. And in those testings, I found that there's a thing called V3 Elite and V3 Strong. So it's when 3 models agree on something very strongly, use a different formula. It's done very well. Elite and Strong. It's gone 36 and 13. That's 73% so far. I figured that was enough sample size to go ahead and throw that on here. So V3 Elite is a new sample, is a new featured pick that you can find on the NHL picks page. And I'm always evaluating for new featured picks. And I'm hoping to find a new angle for the NBA as well to get more consistency on the picks. And I think I have one. So stay tuned for that. But NHL, we currently have V3 Elite. That's a really nice one. None today. Diamond Edge, there's actually none as well, which is a little surprising. So I would say Diamond, I'll have to correct this. It should be. Oh, no, it's not. Okay. No diamond picks today. So what the diamond picks will look like when they're there is no heavy favorites, but also a high win rate. And the one game that almost qualifies is the Columbus Blue Jackets and LA Kings, but the win rate is 59% and it needs to be 60. So really close there. So if you were looking, if you like diamond picks, I think Columbus is the closest, but not quite there. No underdogs today for the value edge or close to, but again, you do have my pick. So we've got 4 power plays. They're currently at 61% win rate, 208 wins, 134 losses. And then we've got 3 melodic spotlights, which are my personal picks as well. So that's kind of what we're looking at. And then the final thing that I added was the NHL spread engine. So if there's a game that is a dog, but we feel you should put the spread on it, that'll get featured down here, and it's done very well. Now, I also do want to say, so today there's 2 elite picks, Utah and Ottawa. If you can get Ottawa at plus 1.5 and Utah at plus 1.5, anytime you can get our pick in that spread spot, it's gone from it's like a 60% win rate to an 80%. Huge boost if you can get our pick at plus 125. The odds probably won't be really great, but over time it compounds and it's a decent win. So there's just kind of food for thought there. And if we go ahead and look at some headlines for today, Avalanche captain Landeskog is week to week with injury. Pittsburgh, by the way, made a crazy comeback yesterday against the Bruins. So that was nice, and they won that game, which was our pick, which was huge. And headlines are saying Bedard is ready to take over as Blackhawks leader. So that's pretty huge as well. So a few little things going on for us. We're just hoping NHL cooks, NBA picks up momentum. It started really hot, cool down. Now we're kind of in a boring period with the NBA. We're hoping that turns around soon. And then in the spring, MLB should be really interesting. Anyway, that's it, guys. See ya.